Welcome to The Cynical Developer, the podcast that helps you to improve your development knowledge and career through explaining the latest and greatest in development technology and providing you with what you need to succeed as a developer. We've recently launched our Patreon page, which can be found at cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon. If you aren't familiar with Patreon, it's an easy way for those who are interested in this show to help out by simply pledging a small amount each month in sponsorship. Now that could be as little as $5 a month, which is about £3.80, or as much as you like. You will enable us to dedicate more time creating more content to help you, including videos, more blog posts, and even more shows. So if you can, head over to cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon and get involved. In this episode, I wanted to discuss having an opinion. What is one, and why you should keep it to yourself most of the time. So what is an opinion? As developers, we are opinionated by nature. We're surrounded by them every day. Even our technology is opinionated. It tells us how to do things. But do you know what an opinion is? Most people actually confuse opinions with facts. So hopefully today we're going to clear some of that confusion up. Now, there's two kinds of opinion. The first is something that has no justification. You can't argue it as a fact. And some examples of that are that I believe that red is a better colour than blue, that rum and raisin ice cream is nicer than mint choc chip. These are opinions that have no basis in fact. They're just my view on the world. The second is often arguable to an extent, and often it's not based on the facts. It's based on a twisted view of the facts. So some of these opinions could be some of the heated debates that we get in the development community. Tabs versus spaces, C# better than Java, Angular better than React. These are views that, yes, they could be argued, but without further details, without more specifics around the points that you're trying to make, they're just opinions, they're not facts, and they're pointless arguments that we end up getting in and just going round and round in circles. And we go round and round in circles because there's no real justification. You can't prove it one way or the other in such broad senses. So maybe you could say that Java was better in a certain circumstance than C#, but overall, one is not better than the other. Just the way it is. One opinion you will often find yourself coming up against, and we've all said it, is this code's awful. Why would you even do it that way? Now that is an opinion, and you should understand that there are wrong ways to do things in software, but there are also a lot of right ways. Now, a good phrase I like to use on this subject is opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, but most of them stink. And keep that in mind. Just because it's your opinion, it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's valid. It doesn't mean it's not valid either. But understanding what an opinion is something you need to grasp. Now, you have a right to an opinion. Most people will argue this. However, you do not have a right to voice that opinion, to argue or give that opinion if you're not willing to listen to other opinions, to actually check the fact, and when you're proven wrong, to accept it. And there's lots of sort of examples of this. One of the controversial ones that everybody's seen at the moment is the anti-vaccinators. It's been proven time and time again that vaccines don't cause autism, but yet these people still say that they do. That is an opinion. So when should you not share an opinion? Knowing when not to share an opinion is a skill. It's a real skill and takes some work to get right. And I've landed myself in hot water a good few times over the years by getting it wrong. You share it at the wrong time. You share it when you're surrounded by the wrong company, the wrong people. It is hard to get right. And a word of warning on that is beware of special snowflakes. Now, these are people that have an inflated opinion of themselves. They're the people that take offence to everything, no matter what the internet says. This isn't just applicable to millennials. I've worked with a lot of people of all walks of life, all ages, that fit this special snowflake category. So before you blurt out, who wrote this crap, Just be aware of who is around you. You might be sat next to the author's best friend, some idiot who thinks he's some sort of superhero and he's on some crusade to defend the world against everyone else's opinions. Just be aware of those. Think about what you say before you say it. Will a special snowflake get upset by what you're about to say? Does what you want to say fly in the face of public opinion? If it is an earth-shattering statement and it's going to upset the status quo, is it worth saying? Do the benefits outweigh the negatives? Is it going to have a positive impact on the project, on the team? If the answer is no, don't say it. If you're complaining about coding standards in a legacy project that has a couple of bugs that you need to fix, but normally the source code doesn't get touched, there's no point upsetting people by stating the obvious about it. Just fix the bugs and move on. Is it a senior dev that's being all high and mighty and overprotective of his or her code? Will knocking them down a few pegs actually change anything? You might feel better in the short term, but you've probably just made yourself an enemy. And maybe, you should have been a little bit more subtle about how you were approaching that topic. Because what have you gained out of it? Nothing but an enemy. So when should you share an opinion? If you are discussing or debating something and you have an opinion, then voice it at that point. And when you do voice it, think about how you say it. Present it along the lines of, I think we should do this, and explain why. And bear in mind, simply saying, I think that we should do it this way because I think it's better, is not a way to share an opinion. If you overhear two of your team arguing about something and you understand the topic probably a little better than they do, then sharing the facts is a must. Don't pick a side, simply state the facts. Don't start with, Mark is actually right in what he's saying, and Jeff, you're talking at your rear end. That's just going to cause rifts, it's going to cause problems, you're going to upset somebody. So I would suggest that you interject with something like, hey, look, the framework dictates that we do it this way because state the facts, not opinions. And if you do disagree with someone's opinion, explain why they're wrong. Show them the facts. And maybe they will change their mind, maybe they won't. And something I always say to people that I work with is I have strong opinions that are weakly held. So I might say that we need to do something a certain way. And I might give you some facts around why we would do it that way. If you can justify doing it a different way, tell me why it's better than the way that I've said, then great, tell me. I'll change the way that I think. And I think that is a mindset that people should get into. And it's often because your opinion could be wrong. Even if it's got facts, it could still be wrong. So why would your opinion be wrong? Because maybe you don't know all the facts. You don't know the circumstances that led to that decision, why that code was written that way. You don't know the skill level or the personal level of the team that was writing that code, building that project. There are probably many more things that you don't know about when these decisions were made. So err on the side of caution. Don't upset people for no real benefit. Always try to be diplomatic where possible. And that can be hard. It really can, trust me. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better understanding of opinions. Do you have an opinion about opinions? Do you have an opinion that you want to voice? Come and tell us about it on the show notes for the page. I promise I'm not a special snowflake, so you can say what you like. I'm not going to get too upset. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to ensure that you get next week's episode where we talk about one of my favourite topics, which is productivity. And we talk with Jay Miller about why techies need a productivity coach and what one is. So for now, thanks for listening to The Cynical Developer. I'm James Stoddart, and this was Having an Opinion. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, then drop us an email, a tweet, or leave a comment on the website where you can find all the resource links, show notes for each episode. And if you enjoy this episode, please leave a review on your favourite podcast platform, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is, and help The Cynical Developer to reach more developers around the globe.